Fellow Toastmasters, I don't think we have any guests today, do we?
Rose.
Rose, welcome up to your Rose. I think I just see her at so many Toastmasters meetings. You feel that I'm a Toastmaster. I hope to proliferate your knowledge about how to organize your speech. But first, I would like to tell you about why I give this speech every once in a while. We have a thing that's called Speechcraft. We're always looking for volunteers. And our next Speechcraft is April 7th. What that is it's a way of recruiting new Toastmasters. We do that through community education. In fact, just a year ago, I did a Speechcraft and had a whole lot of fun doing it. And I know that Rose was one of my speakers. I still remember her speech. In fact, it might have been organizer speech that Rose gave. I'm not sure. But, so we're always looking for volunteers. So it's an opportunity for any of you to participate in another activity. We meet on Monday nights. And the participants go through the first 5 speeches of the manual. And then if they end up joining, they'll have the 5 speeches out of the way. So that means a speech a week. And the value of that is just seeing the progress. It's amazing how much people grow during that short of a period of time. And Terry Reagan is coordinating the Speechcraft this spring. But just let me know, I can get you on the list. The first Speechcraft will be the first Monday in April, which I believe is April 7th. Is that right?
I think it's 6th.
6th.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it starts then. So if you're interested, let me know. Organizing your speech. What do you think is the most important thing about organizing your speech? Any ideas? I think just to get a person interested, you have to have a dynamite opening. In fact, one of my theories is if you have a dynamite opening, if you have a equally as great a closing, you can pretty much forget about what's in the middle. I mean, you want some content, obviously, and you want to meet the time limits. But people only remember about 1 or 2 or 3 things about your speech. And chances are it's either the opening or it's the closing. But in terms of organizing your speech, there's several ways of doing it. One, you can have it written out. Some people like to practice writing their speech out. I've never, ever done that. That is too tedious for me, it's too boring for me. But for some people, even seasoned Toastmasters like to start there. And that's okay, as long as you don't read word for word what you've written. Other people like to just have like a brief outline. I've done that, and that works pretty good. For me, that works for speeches that are pretty technical. You got to come up with a specific fact. And I think that type of outline at least works for me. One of my favorite ways, and I think most of you have seen me use that method, is using little note cards. And not just note cards, but colored note cards. I basically like to use, well, it can be as many as a dozen note cards, I don't care. But I like to color coordinate. I like to have a certain color for opening, maybe green for opening, a pale blue-green, you know, often note cards that color, pretty easy to find. And green to me means go. That's where you start. And maybe for that stuff in the middle, I'll just use white cards, because that's gonna probably be most of them. And so I'll stick with the white, and then I'd probably go to the pink, which is related to red, for the closing speech. But I think you wanna be discreet in how you use those cards. You don't wanna be flipping through them all the time, and you don't wanna act like you're playing 52 pickup or dealing cards. You don't wanna try to, you know, just, I would have them along today, because I wasn't planning to give a speech like that, but just one over the other, you know, put them in order. For me, what I sometimes do is I'll number them, great big numbers. I'll put them down here in the lecture. And that helps you keep track of where you're at. So you just pick up the number, you know, flip it up if you want to, and maybe just lay it at the table as you're talking. And then you'll see your next cards next. So in conclusion, I would suggest, seriously think about having a great opening and have a tremendous closing and have a little bit of body in the middle, and with that you'll have a successful speech. Follow those messages.